Probably wasn't going to do a video today because we're having a bit of a squall, and we got about 35 knot winds and pretty rolly seas here today, and you know, it's New Year's Eve, so happy New Year's. And I've got, fortunately, I'm having dinner at a friend's boat, and they're only about, I could swim back if I have to, so, but it's a rough night, and it's a rough day, so, but it's a hell of a lot better. I'd rather be facing this storm than what Merz had to go through in Rome yesterday. Merz went to Rome to basically bitch slap Meloni and get her into line with obeying EU dictates. They're not laws, they're dictates, because the EU has no legal authority over sovereign nations like Italy, but they've got rules. They're a rules-based organization, so they Italy's been picking up migrants out in international waters before they get into Italian waters, before they have to give them asylum. So they've been, you know, the boat people or whatever that are coming into Italy. Italy's getting hit pretty hard by this because Italy's kind of where they're going to, if you get on a boat and try to escape the shitstorm in the Middle East, that NATO has had a hell of a hand in creating themselves, but that's another story. You're likely to end up pretty close to Italy, so it's as much geography and currents as it is anything else. But anyway, they've been picking up migrants out in the international waters and hauling them to Albania, where they get deported back to, you know, Pakistan or wherever the hell they came from. So there's problems with this. This is not necessarily a good thing, but Italy has the right to do what it wants to do. You know, Meloni has made this crystal clear. So the balls of Merz, and I wouldn't have expected him to have a pair, but to go to Rome to try to make the Italians obey him. I guess he's never really known Italians. I mean, they love Italians, but they're not the kind of people you go bitch slap and try to make do what you tell them to do, you know? It's one of the things I love about the Italians. And but she had a card up her sleeve. She had Merz. So Merz goes, and they're on public television. This is being broadcast live. It's being broadcast live over social media, and he's going to go be, you know, their Führer and bitch slap Italy and make Italy do its bidding. You will do what the Germans tell you to do, Italian scum. And didn't end well. Because on live television, on broadcast to millions of people in social media, Meloni just calmly whipped out some documents, and she said they're proof that the Germans have been funding human trafficking in the EU. They're funding this, what do you call it, NGO or whatever, non-governmental organization, some, you know, like that organization the Clintons were funding in Haiti that made like 150,000 children disappear or whatever. But it's something pretty sketchy, right? Hey, if you're watching this, give it a like. Come on, thumbs up. Let's see some thumbs. And thank you for watching. Hi and hello. So, and apparently Merz was afraid had enough fear of whatever information that Meloni had, that he went slinking back to Germany with his tail between his legs and what little testicles he had way up inside his cavity, you know. And that's hilarious. I mean, but it's more than hilarious. This was the end of the EU, the legitimacy of the EU as a governing, I don't know, council. They're like a council. What do they call it? The EU council. They're not like a government. They weren't elected. A bunch of goddamn, um, human traffickers, apparently. But so, I mean, Merz didn't know what to do. He's like, oh, he went slinking back to his bunker in Berlin, um, and yeah, but it was this. The EU. The reason he went is because when Meloni had just basically told him to go fuck himself in Brussels at the EU Council Summit last week, I knew that was like the beginning of the end for the EU. So yesterday, I guess I should start this with a mea culpa. What was the stream? What's this stream about? Oh, it's about basically Meloni hanging fuckhead Merz upside down in the streets of Rome, like Mussolini, which is really what she did. I mean, she stuck a fork in his ass as much as the Italians did to Mussolini, and when he found his naked carcass hanging upside down in the streets of Rome. It's that's pretty much what this stream is about. Yeah, which was incredible, but the EU sent Merz to Italy to bring the Italians into line and make them submit to their will. What was that? The Nazi Germany that what's her name made Triumph of the Will. Hello from Egypt. Hi. Hello in Egypt. Nice to hear Andrew. No, I'm sorry, Abdu. I may be in Egypt on this boat here in, I don't know, a year or two or three down the road. I'm thinking about visiting Alexandria when I'm in that part of the world. And I'm doing the Schengen Shuffle. So basically, Meloni strung Merz up by his feet. He had to bring her into line to regain legitimacy, because he knew that the meeting last week in Brussels was so devastating to the EU's legitimacy that if they didn't do something drastic, they're done. They're like like I call it, von der Leyen dining club, a supper club at Ursula's, Ooh, good coffee. Anyway, and it didn't end well. So this was a last-ditch attempt at the EU to regain legitimacy, and really what they did was pretty much it committed suicide. The EU is... So yesterday I said, I gave it 3 months before they lost all legitimacy. Yesterday I said by the 1st of April. I was wrong, and I apologize. I misread the cards because they didn't make it to the 1st of January. They really are done. They've got a financial shitstorm coming at them, and they can't. Their currency is going to be. It'll still be used. I mean, you'll still go to the store and spend euros to buy a bottle of Côte d'Aron cheap wine at the gas station or whatever, but it's going to be useless outside of Europe, and it's going to be increasingly useless within Europe, because it'll be a lot like what happened in Greece in like 2010 to 2011. They sent the vulture capitalists in to kind of bleed Greece, and the Greeks were like, fuck you. Well, they started this black market economy outside the euro, and it got so organized and so powerful that the EU just kind of quit trying to squeeze Greece and just decided to leave them be, because uh, they were destroying themselves, and this is going to be that. So I said what I said was going to happen by April 1st. It happened yesterday. So while I was doing the reading, actually, is when this was going on. Probably a few hours before because of the time difference. But anyway, what the point of all this is, we're going to have to stop talking about the EU destroying itself and lose it. We're to stop saying the EU is going to lose legitimacy, because the EU has lost legitimacy. We went from the future conditional, the tense, the EU may lose legitimacy, to the past tense, the EU has lost legitimacy. It is a goddamn joke of an organization right now. Hey, if you like this, give it a like too. If you I see people coming and going, stick around. Stay a while. Let's see what the cards have to say about this. And but excuse me, I got an excellent cup of coffee here. I've been working today all morning and getting ready for New Year's Eve celebration, and I missed my second cup of coffee, so I'm having a late afternoon cup of coffee and enjoying the hell out of it. That's good coffee. I live in Central America right now, Central South America, and there's damn good coffee in this part of the world, let me tell you. So, now that we're talking about the EU in the past tense, what's next for the European people as their government, as their idiotic government experiment, failed experiment of a government? That's what they have right now. The Council, the EU Council, is and when the financial shitstorm hits, that's going to be really interesting, because Machiavelli defined a nation state, a functioning nation state, as, he said, one of the key characteristics is a monopoly on the use of violence. So like having a military and a police force. And here's the thing, you need money to pay a military and a police force to have a monopoly on the use of violence. That's part of the problem in Mexico. When things get really weird in economically, the danger of Mexico is that they don't have a monopoly on violence. They kind of coexist with the cartels. So they've got a duopoly on violence. And if the government collapses, as much as I love Mexico, it's like I said, I think it's Victorian, my favorite place on earth, but as much as we love it, don't want to be there when the cartels take over, when the government collapses. And I see that coming. I'll maybe do a reading on that. So, let's see what the cards have to say about the future of the EU now that its destruction is something that we're talking about in the past tense. Well, so really what I'd asked about was the European people, so that's a good sign. I mean, and they're waking up. This is the European people are they're discovering their own power, their own personal sovereignty, their own balance and functioning in the world. And they're waking up from a damn nightmare. And they're waking up from the von der Leyen dining club fiasco. And this was the gateway in a couple of readings ago, that same card. It's Divine Union, which sure as hell ain't what the EU is right now. Because, seriously, if Meloni has evidence that the Germans have been funding human trafficking, it's going to be pretty damn hard for the EU to bitch slap any country on anything, but especially immigration policies. That's going to be I think basically the EU just stepped on its own dick. And here's the root, and this is trauma, past trauma is rising up. And here's the present moment, and that's passionate action, like serious action. And here is the future, psychological future, and that is rebirth. And here's the future. This is really interesting. The Fool. I like this story that it's telling them. Holy shit. This is very strange reading, I gotta say. And here is the fear and the Hierophant. The Hierophant is it's the toady bureaucrat sons of bitches that have thrived in the whole supranational structure of the EU. Shitheads like Macron and Merz and even Starmer. He's one of those shitheads, even though they Brexited out of the EU. They're still a huge, important component because they still control the banking industry. And this is the bureaucrats. This is the perfect for the shitbirds in the EU Council. And the astrological energy is victory. This is really good for the people. And here's the desires. They want to stick two thumbs up Ursula's scrawny ass. And here's the final outcome. And that's security and power and strength and owning their world. I think that this is pretty good. And this is they have to get away from this is modifying fears, and they have to get away from this prick, the Hierophant, the structural power, the systemic authority. And they've got victory in hand, they really do, but they don't know it yet because they're still struggling with their burden. And the passion is going to lead to justice, and I think they got justice yesterday, to be honest with you. And this modifies the final outcome, which is the King of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords. Maybe this is Meloni. I'm not supporting any of these people like Orban and Meloni but game theory is, even when a shitbird's a shitbird, when they're working towards something that is a goal that is in your best interest, maybe we'll worry about them being shitbirds tomorrow when they start doing shitbird shit. And when they're doing stuff like stringing frickin' Merz up by his feet in the streets of Rome, then we'll stick with it. So yeah, this is really. I think the European people are really waking up from their nightmare. I think they've found their own power, their own. They've internal alchemy. They've found this balanced power. I love this card. The European people they should be stars. It's a beautiful country with beautiful people, or a beautiful continent with beautiful people. But they do have some skeletons in the closet, I'll tell you that. And and they're at a place of victory right now. I mean, they are bringing this thing home. They're succeeding. They just don't realize it yet because their burden is still heavy. They still got those fuck nuts in Brussels telling them what to do. And but they're going to realize that they have everything they need within them. They're going to realize that they are stars. They're going to take center stage, and they're going to. They want to move ahead. They want to take control. They want to take the reins, be the captain of their own ship. Each country wants to be captain of their own ship, not have some goddamn hammerheads in Brussels telling them what to do, and they're gonna those people are gonna get what they got coming, and you know I guess Orban also came up with a document, a bundle of documents. In He presented it to von der Leyen, and whatever it was, it scared the shit out of her. He said basically he said I got the files. Um, you, Leave us the fuck alone, because you might find yourself hanging up next to Merz in the streets of Rome from your ankles. But they're going to get where they need to be, and they're going to do it. They're going to do it as as a union. I mean, I think the people of Germany, the people of France, the people of Italy, the people of Greece, the people of England, they're just gonna be done with those dipshits. They got those illegitimate governments. I mean, right now the three major countries in Europe, the three of the four, or I don't know where to include Spain in that, but say Italy, the three biggest economies in Europe would be UK, UK, Germany, France, and Italy. Three of them have governments that the people in those countries, the people of England, the people of France, and the people of Germany, don't even consider their leadership elected. I mean, what is Macron on his 7th or 8th frickin' government this year? Same with UK. They're afraid to have elections, because if they were to hold snap elections right now, the AfD would probably take over Germany. What is that? Le Pen's party is also gaining huge power in France, and the Farage. I'm not saying these guys are good guys. I'm sure they're shitbirds like the rest of them, because you don't get high up in the food chain in politics unless you do terrible, terrible things. But they're going to get together, and they're going to try something completely new. They're going to take a great leap into the unknown, and it's going to lead them to a good place. But it's going to take kind of a compassionate, firm decision to get there. But they're waking up from the nightmare of the von der Leyen nightmare. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 15 cards in this reading are major arcana. This is a pretty powerful reading. So I think it's a little scary. Maybe what the Europeans are afraid of is losing their leaders. Maybe they're afraid of owning their personal sovereignty. Maybe they're afraid of losing the shitbirds that they've given their personal sovereignty away to. That makes actual sense, but they got to do that. They need to move off into new territory, and they really need to take a leap into the great unknown. So, if you're watching this, Happy New Year's Eve. I only put this out here today because this shit happened at the end of the day yesterday, and nobody's doing anything. The only thing I'm seeing are pre-recorded things. I think the timing was good. I think Merz went to give Italy an ass chewing, because he knew that he went at the end of the day on Tuesday, because he knew it wouldn't be much going on Wednesday and New Year's Eve. Most people would take the day off, and most news was shit been recorded earlier. So I thought, well, I'm going to put something out there today, because this is a story that needs to be told. Have a great New Year. Enjoy 2026. I think it looks pretty good for the people of Europe. Looks better than it does for the governments of Europe and especially the European Union Council shitbirds. So let's see what happens. I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll do something tomorrow. Everybody, we're having a party tonight, so I'm going to probably get some sleep in the morning. I overslept this morning, but I won't. We have a joke in the sailing world. We call ourselves cruisers that travel around and live on our sailboats, and so it's the cruising community. Which I grew up. I remember as a kid, I saw that movie Cruisers, Cruising with Al Pacino, and that was, it's not like that. Maybe it is for some people, but no, I got enough to worry about without without whatever the hell that was. But in the cruising world, we have a saying that 9 p.m. is midnight for in the cruising world. So we'll probably celebrate our New Year's and be in bed by 8 or 9 o'clock like we are every night. And when I wake up, I will see what the hell's going on in 2026 and love you all and have a great New Year's Eve. Have a safe New Year's Eve. Stay out of trouble. It's amateur night. Remember, it's amateur night, so you don't want to go out and get yourself arrested and shit like that. Cops will be looking for sniffing for money. So so behave yourself. Don't if you're going to be drinking. It's always a bad idea to drive home drunk, but especially on New Year's Eve. So unless you really want to start off, have a really expensive, embarrassing, potentially life-destroying event, take Uber or whatever, if that's still a thing. I don't know. I haven't been in the U.S. for about 6 years. So love you all. Happy New Year. Take care.